Hello everybody, Houston here. I hope you guys are doing well, having a great day or a great night. And before jumping into this content, please smash the like button, share with your friends, and subscribe as well to support this channel. Otherwise, nobody's going to do it, right? So today this is going to be a different video. We will talk about fundamentals, okay? Not about price action, assets, the markets, and etc. So I want to share a few things with you guys because it appears nobody else is doing it. So even though there's a lot of people who is aware of what is going on, so yeah, perhaps this is the right time to do this. Okay, so today we are going to take a look on what is happening on the crypto market, especially around Bitcoin. Okay, and don't get me wrong here. Uh, Bitcoin is not the bad guy, okay? So Bitcoin is actually a victim. I believe this is the word, a victim. Yes. So most people end up praising Bitcoin because Bitcoin keeps going up, but they turn the blind eye to everything else that's going on. And this is where the issue is. So just for you guys to have an idea what's going on right now, they are feeding the dragon with his own tail. Okay, and at some point, we know this is not sustainable, and things can turn into a very, very bad way. Okay, so now let's break this down. I could put all the things here already, but we will work on this step by step so you guys can have a better understanding. You can get back to this video and check it again and again, do your research, etc., etc. So let's jump into it. There are some things that I can use the true names or real words, so I will try to make like use fantasy names, okay? And then you guys will have to do your research, but most of you guys are aware of it already. I mean the names and what's going on, okay? So let's start with huh. Let's make this bigger, right? So let me see if it's 32, it's okay. Make it even bigger, right? 40. Okay. So here we have Han. And Han is a guy who have it's what is the word in English? Sorry guys, my English is it's a shame. It's this guy has a deep connection with the commies. Okay, so when you guys know which commies I am talking about, so I have to use a different word for it as well. But so this guy has deep connections with commies, and when you're doing business or you're doing some things in China, the you need a approval from commies, and then they will say if you can do this or not. And also, if you have more than 12, if I'm not wrong, is 15. If you have more than 15 employees, you will have to hire a guy from the commie, their members, you know, because I can remember some words will look like something is wrong, but it's because I won't call some things straight up. And so this guy, while he's inside, he will make copies and report things, copy blueprints, explain everything, and make reports back to the headquarters, let's say. And that's how they keep track of everything. So this guy, so here we have this guy, and here we have, so let's here. Here we have the commies. So let's use a red here, shall we? Okay. And here we have Han. So Han is doing his business and he has the approval. He's allowed to do everything he's doing. So what this guy holds, so what is the lack of resources, what is the all the things he controls. So here we have machines production, the main pool, the biggest one. So we are not talking about a average pool, okay? It's the largest pool out there, which is the mining pool. Some of you guys are familiar with it. And they also are I believe I can use this word. So just a second, I don't know if I will have enough space here to put everything together in a simple way. So, just a second. And also here. Oh, great. So, this guy controls, or he's the biggest producer of mining machines. First thing. The second one, they control, they own one of, if it is not the largest main pool out there. And third, they also have one of the biggest crypto farm, yes, out there. So by the end of the day, just a second because we will need more info here. So the commies, they control the production of coins, the pool, right, where they needed the pools to mine and etc., and also the machine. So today they control all this process. For the majority of you guys, this is nothing new. You guys know China has like 70% of the control, not only over Bitcoin production, but also many other coins like Ethereum, Litecoin, back in the day Dash, Monero as well, and many others. Even those ones that can't be mined, okay? Most of those coins that can be mined but are owned by them are projects, okay? So it's like a phase A and phase B and phase C, phase D. But then what happens? They add dreams and amazing partnerships. This thing is going to move, but it's just a experimental test. That's it, folks. That's it. You guys know why the whole majority of coins have been dying since a long time, because all this conversation around these tokens and coins happened in the past as well, and all those coins with dreams and hope and amazing development and etc died. Okay, they died. So if you guys check the top 20 over the last few years, it's always changing, always, and only a few was able to survive, okay? But the numbers changed in the past as well. So they control, so let's use here 70% of this whole thing. And what else we have aside of this particular scenario here. We have actually I can use this one. So just a second. So let's use let's say exchanges, right? So okay, and then okay, let's go one step at a time because there's so many things put together here. You come here. Just a second and try to make things aligned. Okay. So here we have, let's call 4, or big 4. Big 4. Let me see. So exchanges, big 4. So now let's try to put some things out here. So we have B, and then we have another B. So just a second. Big 4. So those are the big 4, right? The biggest ones. Oops. Oh, okay, so let's leave like this. Yes. So second. I think I can do this like this. So let's use black again. Okay, and then this guy here comes back here again. And we need a red one here. The other one, yes. So, all those big guys, what do they have in common? They all have a approval, and also people from the Commie Party working with them because they have to. They can't say no, okay? So it's the same thing that happens in the other side, okay? And remember, this is a ecosystem, right? Like a living, it's like, how can I say? It's like it's kind of organic, you know. There are things here that depend from other things there, and they all together can coexist. Okay. So those guys, those big 4 here, if we can call this like this, they are under the control of the commies. They are, okay, so they can say no. It's whatever they want, like they want, from A to Z, and that's it, okay? They can change what they want. And so all those guys, what they made money from. So, for example, exchanges, from people buying coins and tokens, trading fees, and etc. Many other things as well. Okay, so, and then they collect the fees and also a few other things, and that's how they make money, right? So since 2017, we came to know Tether, and then Tether was going up, very marginal amounts, but going up still. Okay. Since then, by the beginning of 2018, we saw a big bear, right? But the bulls were in control. So for let's say 2 years, almost 2 years, they had, let's say, they were making much more money when things are going up, right? Because there's more people buying, trying to trade, etc. So make more money. When things are going down, when people are depressed, when they lost hope, they spend less money, so the exchange make less profits. So then that's exactly when Tether comes into play. Now, so let me just put the word here so I don't miss anything. Just a second. So here we have Tether. Let's leave it here. And here what we have, oh great, miners. Just a second, folks. Hold your hats, cool your jets. I don't like things messed up. Okay. So what miners do? Miners are going to buy. So here we are talking about a specific, very specific location. Okay. So we are talking about control, the largest numbers. Okay. Where the things have more firepower. So here we have miners which buy their ASICs, it's the mining machines from this guy, okay? And then they are going to use which pool? This guy pool. And so they collect fees, and so basically what they want, they are just like the exchange, they want more fees because they make more money. So they are mining a specific coin, so are making money from here. Then we have the fees to process the transfers and payments. Not payments here at all, but yeah. And also, what's the other one? It's the coin itself, the fees. Yeah, I think it's these two, if I remember well. Um, if there is another one, I don't remember now. So, what is the thing? If the coin goes up, they make more money. Every time there is a lot of activity on Bitcoin, the network jams. And when this happens, the fees becomes more expensive, which is bad for the user and is amazing for the miners, right? Because they want more money. They are not doing this because they are members of the Red Cross, right? So this is about money, and there is no foolishness when it comes down to it. So now let's keep going here. Let me use this one right here. Just a second. So let's break this down. Actually, let's say the term whales. Okay, they are big whales. So let's put here big whales. They also are net sellers because they must sell their coins in order to pay their bills, etc., stuff. This is nothing new. So net sellers. Okay, so now we have another one here as well. So let me put this way. Just a second, folks. I really like things straight. It's from here, right? Oh, oh, just a second. What I'm doing. A black. Okay. So, and then we have miners, which are big whales, and net sellers. So they will keep selling their coins no matter what. Of course, let's say they mined, uh, let's say 20 bitcoins in a single day. They are not going to sell all those bitcoins. They are going to sell, let's say, 5 or 10. But also, when you are mining, there is like a bonus. When you are there is a prize for those who made who it's what's the word is if I'm not wrong, is the last one who break down the block. You know, there is a prize for it, so it's a bonus. So yeah, just for you guys to have an idea. And so here, so far, without talking about Tether yet, so let's continue here. So these guys, where they are going to sell their coins? They are going to sell not only, but mostly on exchanges. Okay, so we know that from 2018 all the way to, let's say, for almost 2 years, those exchanges had to keep buying everything that these guys were selling, everything. Okay, so now imagine this: only 5% of all the trading volume, it comes from investors or traders. 90 to 95% of all trades are automated, which means the exchanges trading back and forth, because otherwise many crypto assets will die. So they keep making the thing to go up or to go down, follow the direction, the trend, and etc. So this is not a problem. This is how things works. But for a long period of time, those guys had to kept buying all their coins. Not only the coins, also the tokens. And then they were expending a lot of money. A lot. And imagine, you have to keep buying and buying and buying and holding and holding. So of course they would have profits from it, but later on. Okay, so then what happened then? We had Tether, right? Let me see if you can put Tether here. Let's put below. Just a second. Okay, so we had Tether, which they supposedly, it's a money that came from investors, big. Remember this, big investors. Okay, so back in the day, we had amounts on this range. So 100 million, then 500 million. Actually, just a second. And $1 billion. Now, very important here. Now let's take a look at something. So again, they say this money coming from investors, which we know if they really wanted to do it, they could just pick their money, go to exchange and do whatever they want to do. But Tether say those people pick their valuable money and buy Tether, and then they use this Tether to buy cryptocurrencies. And here is the key thing. Okay, so if we are talking about a big number of investors, why the numbers go up in a methodical way and it's always up. So for example, let me give you a different example here. The numbers they present are something like this. Always exponential and always up. There is never a number below, which is very, very weird. And you guys will understand why. So let's say for a healthy or crystal clear event. So let's say a big investor went in with $50 million. And then another one say, okay, I'm in as well, 25. And then another one with 10 millions. And then one with 100 million. And then one with 50 million. And then another one with $30 million. So this would be a much closer to the reality behavior, right? So it looks like there is inflation on the investors coming to Tether, you know? So you can put less money than the previous one. And this, folks, this is a key, very key stuff to identify a Ponzi scheme, okay? Yeah. So as we can see here, and I believe this is crystal clear, that this behavior, it's irrational, okay? Doesn't make any sense at all, and there is something very, very wrong with this. And now, let's take a look at another thing. So let's leave these numbers here. Actually, I will need this guy here. So just a second, please. Okay. So this is the rise on Tether investors, right? Always exponential numbers and always up. There is never a move below, okay? So what else aligns with such behavior? Guess. Just try to guess. Bitcoin price. So that's when things start to become very, very interesting. So here we have the miners who are net sellers, right? So they will keep selling their Bitcoins. Not everything, but they will keep selling to pay their bills. The exchange has to buy, right? And when Bitcoin price is going up, so it's going up the profits from the miners and from the exchanges. But when those guys have access to Tether, what happens? So for example, let's say Bitcoin at oh, and this is very, very interesting, folks. Very, very. Back in the day, let's say when Bitcoin was around $5,000, okay? We had small amounts of Tether, right? So Bitcoin price goes up, Tether supply goes up, the miners' profits goes up, and also the number of coins they sell goes up as well. Now they are mining less coins because for reasons that you guys know, but back in the day where they were mining many more coins. So we know that Tether supply, it's aligned with Bitcoin growth. And also the supposedly investors' behavior, it's inflated already. So there is inflation when someone comes to buy Tether. Oh, so let's say we have $1.4 billion today. If you show up with $1.3 billion you can buy. Oh no, we will wait for someone else to jump in with $100 million so we can make this equal or higher than the previous one. So guys, this is nonsense. Okay, there is no such a thing. So, so for example, if someone shows up with only 500 million, they are not going to accept it. If they make money from this, I mean, in a legal way, they sell tethers and then people pay a small fee, even though it's ridiculous, right? And that you can send your money straight to the exchange and pay no fees. But okay, so will they reject those investors? Of course not. But so, the thing is, all those exchanges, just a second, let's see if I can do this. Just a second, folks, almost there. Hold your hats and cool your jets. Okay, and let's use this one right here. And we can't forget that these guys also have control over what? Over tether facility and production. Let's use a red here, right? Okay. So the big four have a lot of tethers, okay? And this is a fact, especially one of these. They are the largest holders. And also guess what? What else we have here involved on this? I won't make a new square here, so just only put the thing here, which is wrong, which is ruled by and owned by and under the supervision of who? You guys know all the answers. But so, all those guys hold a lot of tether. So what they do? We know today that the only sellers pressure in the market are the miners, right? So they use those tethers to ease this pressure. So they buy up everything they sell. They buy up. And why the hedge funds and investors from the West and many other places? Two things. Why they don't buy tether to buy Bitcoin, for example? They don't. And the other thing is they leave the market. So they take those Bitcoins and leave the market. So they are not participating anymore because they are not trading. They are not buying. They are not selling. This is it. They just took those Bitcoins from the market. Okay? And so what happens? This tether, it's used to ease the seller's pressure, which creates a sensation, a fake sensation of what? Oh, it's all the way bullish. It's going up without going down. You know, it's wild, it's savage. So here's one thing, folks. If Bitcoin was I'm not saying Bitcoin is not bullish. I'm saying if Bitcoin was 100% bullish, we won't be seeing bearish patterns all over breaking bullish. Something is wrong. In my perception, this is my 2 cents, okay? In my perception, the market itself is rejecting Bitcoin behavior. One of the reasons, bearish patterns keep breaking bullish. Of course, it's not 100% of times bearish patterns, but like 90%. Okay. And also we talked about this back in the day, that it appears to be like a rush, up, 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 against time and against fundamentals, against everything else. So maybe we are talking about a criminalization of proof of work, and maybe for a short period of time the criminalization of Bitcoin. Okay, so this is my 2 cents. I have conversations with some key people, and every time we talk about this, we end up in the same scenario, which is a big scam. Okay, so again, Bitcoin is a victim, is not the bad guy, but those things are not looking great at all. Okay, at all. And so 2 things with Tether: they ease the seller's pressure, and all the surplus in Tether they use to keep buying. So they keep buying non-stop, and they keep inflating Bitcoin, right? So for example, right now the whole crypto market total cap is around the $1.5 trillion, 1.6, something that we talked about back in the day, and people called me crazy. And so at this point, right now, if we had 2 things, regulations and something clear, something healthy, we would be talking right now about at least $3 trillion minimum. Okay, so again, this kind of behavior keep going in bearish way. This creates somewhat, if it's not clear for us, it's not clear for others. Okay, and this starts to become a problem because, for example, there are many bullish assets that keep going up after bearish patterns, and we know there are fake money behind them. Okay, so by the end of the day, most people care about profits, and profits are great. It's always great. We make profits. It's amazing. But there is a kind of mystery in the air. You know, it's kind of a fog that we can't see everything that's going on. But here another thing. So the Tether machine, it's not only owned, but is also controlled by who? This guy right here, which is under the control of these guys right here. So folks, every time someone say Bitcoin, again, is actually, we are talking about proof of work. Okay, and unfortunately it drags Bitcoin into it. When anyone say Bitcoin or Litecoin or Ethereum, etc., is decentralized, those people, they have no idea what they are talking about. No idea at all. And what's the problem? When people exchange the reason for emotions, that's when the things start to become dangerous. And every time people turn the blind eye, at some point, this thing is going to haunt those people, you know, because they decided to avoid or try to forget or just try to leave the thing behind. And that's not how it works. So another thing, back in the day, one of those big 4 were hacked. And a lot of people lost everything. So what they did? They created a redeem token to pay those people. So this was the first time they created something without value to pay a debt. And it worked. So think about this. They created a token from nowhere, they just created to pay people, which they owned money, and then those people, oh, actually they would have to wait for this token to evaluate, which is which is all the way weird, but okay. So here we have the token, and here we have people looking to sell their tokens to pay for their debt. And this, folks, this was the first Ponzi scheme they made back in the day. Okay, I don't know how this ended. I was following this closely back in the day. I knew everything about this, but this was almost 4 years ago, so I actually don't remember every details. But so this was the first big Ponzi, and right after what they did they created Tether, the same folks who created that Ponzi scheme. Okay, and very complicated things. Just a second. And yeah, so there is many other things that we can add here. For example, why this is centralized? The biggest number, the largest farms are centralized in China. So, for example, why China is not paying the carbon tax or taxes, and the whole thing is a lot of pollution in China. The day looks like night, and they are damaging, destroying the environment. And why nobody say anything? Why nobody call them out? Why we don't have leftist protesters calling out China? Why we don't have mainstream media calling out China? Not long ago, leftorganizations.org were burning our forest with money from who? From politics on the left side. So there is always a big scheme of things, folks. So they were doing those things in order to try to weaken the president. Okay, but so back to China. So we know the West have very big commercial deals with China, so they can't break those deals in contracts, because they would end up paying big penalties. I believe this is the word, so please excuse me here. And so they have to wait, right? So they can't do any move right now. And this is about the thing we talked about, the dragon. It's eating his own tail. But by the time he will figure this out, it will be too late. Because this kind of business, it's savage for a period of time, but it's not sustainable over any period of time. That's one of the reasons they are struggling and trying to conquer other nations' territory right now. So this won't end up well. And at some point, the West will turn against them. Another thing that we can add here, just a second, folks. There is something. Sorry, forgive me. So moving on. We already talked about this, but just another thing for you guys to remember. Agenda 2030, Green Deal, a new standard. So you guys know that this model is not sustainable, and those blind folks will say what? Oh, they are going to use wind electricity to mine Bitcoin. No, they won't. And guess why? They say this because they don't know how wind electricity and solar panels are going to work. So it's very expensive. Very. You also need the land, right? You also need the people to do the maintenance on those things. And miners, they are not going to pay for all this stuff. So they have to rely on who to do those things? The ones in control on that country. And guess what? We are going to do these things. Okay, yes, but you are going to pay for us. So that's why they are using also hydro electricity, and many other things. But even the wind stuff needs a backup system. And this backup system is based on what? Coal. Do they ever told you this? Of course not, for two reasons. First, they have no idea how it works and how expensive it is. And the second, they are just clueless. They have no idea what they are talking about. So folks, you guys remember we just talked about the criminalization. The Agenda 2030 is going to be relentless, and proof of work has no place on it, no place at all. Okay, so my 2 cents, my humble opinion, this won't end well. At some point we are going to have a rupture, yes, a break. The whole thing is going to break, and this won't end well. And also another thing, for example, it's very funny to see people like Peter Brandt talking about how bad the Ripple is and etc. But back in the day, he was calling Ripple a scam. But then we came to know that Ripple is working with a lot of banks and central banks and many remittance companies out there. So he had to change his strong approach. And now he's going for the people who believe on XRP holders. And now he's trying to attack the weakest point in the chain. But unfortunately, he's a very dishonest person and also very biased. He's not honest at all. And so why he doesn't mention or talk about all those things that we are talking about here? Is he lame? Yes. Is he stupid? No. Okay. And at this point, anyone who participate in the markets, not folks like that guy who uses sunglasses inside doors, who have no knowledge, who don't participate, who is not familiar with things, it's always about the moon and Lambos. They have no idea about those things. But why they don't talk about it? Why they are not being honest? Why they don't put these things out? So, again, folks, at some point it is not going to end well. Okay, this is crystal clear. There is a lot of things here wrong, very wrong. And when we talk about this, we can see this as a perfect ecosystem around, or a corrupt, because it's shady, right? If these were clear, it won't be shade. If it's not shade, it's because everything is fine. So if things are not fine, it's because there's a big problem behind it. Okay, so folks, this is only my 2 cents. I hope you guys can keep doing your research on here. And yeah, there is a lot of things to cover and look for here, a lot of things to research and work, etc, etc. And this is far from being over. Okay, so thanks again, thanks for your time, thanks for your patience, thanks for your support as well. Don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe as well to support this channel, and let's keep doing our thing. Let's keep being honest and fair as much as possible. And yeah, and also don't forget, we should push a hashtag, Peter please retire. It's time already. Okay, so folks, thanks again. I'll see you guys soon, and see ya.